never forgive you for taking care of my cat.
Yes, the cat. Don't worry, there's more cats out there. Welcome to Deep Night Revelation. We will be picking up where we left off last week. These guys are exploring this damaged ship. They finally have been able to get the translator to work. They've made contact with some of the crew members, and they discovered that the fate of this ship, the reason why it's so badly damaged and whatnot, is that first it experienced a misjump, and I mean it's only tech level 9, so misjumps are at the lower tech levels they're not infrequent, but this one was particularly bad, and it is experiencing the worst case of jump resonance and jump bounce that anybody's ever seen. And so the jump field it's actually contacted the front of the ship and sheared off the entire front portion of the vessel. There are cases where the field still the field is still active. They're in normal space, but not completely. And so the jump field, there's cases where it's still coming into contact, and there are intrusions into the hull, and that, of course, annihilates people. And annihilate is technically the right word, because it's not like they explode or they're killed in a gruesome manner. They just cease to exist. They just go away. And so it's a dangerous situation. But making it worse, come to find out, is that one of the 25,000 colonists that were in low berths on the ship, one of them, unknown to anybody else, was a latent telepath. He's a psionicist. And this gentleman's name is Joseph Enton. And when the error occurred, it disrupted the power momentarily to the low berths, and it was just enough for his mind, unconscious mind in a deep sleep, to start to dream, and he inadvertently, not doing it on purpose, inadvertently reached out with his telepathic powers and actually made contact with the jump field, which has caused disastrous effect not only for the ship known as Far Colony Postulant, but also for his own psyche. It ended up driving him mad, to the point where he doesn't like normal space anymore because it's too quiet to him, and he thinks that the normal state should be in jump space. And so his telepathic abilities are constantly trying to reach out and affect the jump field to send the ship back into jump space. And he kind of likes to be around the jump drive, which is where they are now, and they are engaging him and his followers, who are all pretty much batshit insane, thanks to him reaching out and mentally touching someone. Before we get started, we would like to thank you for any purchases you've made to our Zazzle merch store. I know that a couple of purchases were made this week. Thank you, guys. We have t-shirts and buttons and hoodies and poster maps and Whiskey Rocks glasses, beer steins. There's all sorts of stuff. Novelty items. If you're a fan of the show, if you want to help us out, go get yourself a t-shirt and a beer mug, and 100% of the proceeds from that goes directly back into the channel. It helps cover costs of things like Incarnate Pro or Roll20 Pro or even Wondershare Filmora, which we used in order to make these videos. So yeah, go get yourself something, and we appreciate everything you do for us. All right, so we were in mid-combat.
I see something other than all black.
You know what? You probably ought to. Let me, I did not turn on I need to grant you vision.
I'd like to see.
Look at somebody else here. Yep. All right.
Use the force, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Whiner.
You're just going to have to guess. Yeah. You want to be able to see? That sounds like a liberal.
Yeah.
These light.
We're not tolerating that woke shit around here.
You younger gamers don't know what it was like.
Yes, right.
Gotta need fucking vision.
Had
What the fuck?
Had to walk uphill both ways in a driving snowstorm in the middle of August in order to get to the game store. And then your token didn't have any sight. So there you go. You should be able to see now.
Bicycle 2.5 miles to the hobby store and play with a bunch of disgruntled Vietnam vets.
Yes. Oh God. Oh man, you just described my entire childhood.
7th grade. That was me.
Yes, 7th or 8th grade. There. Yes, exactly. So the best game master at the store that I played. I used to play at House of Fantasy. And this guy ran BattleTech and MechWarrior games. And yes, he was a disgruntled Vietnam veteran. Really, really bad PTSD from the entire experience.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and me and my friends used to be like, dude, maybe playing a war game is probably not the best idea for you.
Oh man, hell no! You play Axis and Allies with them fucking Vietnam vet motherfuckers. What you do?
Christ. Yes.
I'll take my fucking T-62 brigade and run it right down your fucking throat, comrade. Yeah.
So, Brian, Pappy needs to roll initiative. 2D plus either your dex or your intellect modifier. And that way we can get you in the stack.
Oh, damn you. Okay, bro. It was taking a second to load. My bad.
Oh, look at the big init on Pappy. So, since Pappy is joining us, I'm going to let him go first.
Hell yeah.
And so, oh my God, I'm so excited. I don't know, somebody must have listened to me. They've added, if you, I don't know if you can do it, but you can right click on the tokens, and there is a menu called Advanced Transform. And when you go into that menu, one of the first things there, you can either group things together or ungroup them, which is cool. But even cooler than that, disable grid snapping. So
nice.
They no longer snap to the grid, and oh my God, it's so fantastic. I swear to God, everything's going to get grids now. Now that I can do that, everything's going to get grids.
You always could do it at the map level.
Yeah, you could do it at the map level, but this is actually on the token level, which is really nice.
Which is cool. Which is really cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited. That's my favorite new thing. So, Pappy, these guys are in mid-combat. So, for Pappy, because you weren't here last week, they did... let me find it. I don't know. They were... Bocephus went and 3D printed a bunch of pistols. And these are... what are they? These are flechette pistols. So here is the slug pistol chart. So they have a really shitty range of like 10 meters. They do 3D -2 damage, and they're silent because they are compressed air pistols. You're basically carrying around a bunch of daisies and whatnot. But the flechettes that they are shooting are filled with null drug. And so the idea, I believe, was that they were going to use them on this guy, Joseph Enton, who is the telepath, and with the hopes that once he gets dosed, that's going to put an end to his psionic abilities. And I guess they're trying to go, non-lethal. But it's entirely up to you. If you just don't want to deal with non-lethal crap, you can kill as many people as you want. I wholeheartedly am okay with carnage.
How many rounds does it have?
It has 2.
Okay.
Which means I'm going to live fire because I've already missed twice.
Right. So yeah, there you go. I mean, it's already gonna happen. So
okay.
Because isn't reloading this a pain in the ass?
I'm sorry, to reload the flechette pistol?
Flechettes, yeah.
I don't believe it's that big of a deal. I mean,
But that's all the null drug I had. The idea, if we cut his psionic ability out, then the other guys quit attacking.
Well, and I get
Is what I'm hoping.
I've got a
But
picture of it.
I could be wrong.
Here.
But did you only make enough of the null drug for 2 rounds for everybody?
Per pistol?
It's really,
Yeah,
it's
that's
really,
all
really
I-
hard to. It's very hard to come by. Frankly, probably shouldn't have this many doses.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this
And-
probably used all of it in your possession.
I
But
just want to know if I can do a called shot or like a non-lethal, or like just take off a guy's leg as opposed to shoot him in the heart or some shit.
I don't see why not. Hold on.
Oh,
just
we're
a
not
second.
sad if this dude dies. I was just trying to throw, Sarah
I was
likes
told
trying to
don't
go the
kill.
non-lethal route most times, so I was trying to throw him a bone. Because then later on, when I assassinate somebody, see, he'll think back to this time and go, "Okay, this dude is not a murder hobo," and see,
Right.
But you are.
yeah,
That's why
I'm
my
under-
Absolutely
undercover.
murder.
Yeah.
that's why my evil D&D character always insisted we never use poison,
yeah,
so that when I did decide to use it, I had an alibi.
yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
So to give
But
you,
do what you want to do, man.
I-
A couple of us are shot, so I mean, things are getting hairy.
So looking at this thing, it looks to me like it is either a break barrel, or it has a small mag chamber that it loads these 2 rounds into. I mean that's what it looks
Gotcha,
like
gotcha.
to me.
Okay. Well,
So I wouldn't say that it. I mean, it just takes a minor action to reload it.
well, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to save the pistol for the guy, and he's 10 meters away, so I got to get close to him to do it anyway.
Yeah, you got.
I'm just going to take it.
You got this. Say a whole.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
So you want to
I
try?
got my laser rifle.
You want to try a cold
Yeah.
shot?
Yeah, I want to do my laser rifle, and instead of like going for him like center mass or something, I want to like take off an arm or a leg or something, just so this dude's like, "Ah, my leg," as opposed to he's more focused on the fact he hasn't got a leg than like
Okay.
Us. And we could give him a leg later.
That's true. I mean, if you care to. Hold on. I
I mean, if you guys are saying we want to kill him, I'll kill him.
Oh, you can kill him
you were
if
trying
you
to not
fucking want. I was, we try to. I mean, they've been shooting us with shotguns and shit, dude.
kill. Okay. So what you're saying
So-
is
A few
we have
of us
given
are
up
shot.
on peace.
A few of us are shot up.
Yeah,
We're giving up on
I mean-
peace. Okay, we tried peace. Peace didn't work.
Whoa, whoa.
Well,
Now we're going with-
no.
I got
It
caught
isn't-
out of fucking killing goddamn cannibals, and we're not gonna take it easy on these guys.
Right. Right.
Really? Where's
we're
the
just
fucking
gonna
line?
Well, now we can,
who talked-
cease hostilities when Joseph, gets done. But I mean, if we all miss this dude again, and these guys keep attacking us, chances are it's gonna suck. But
Can I kill him?
and yeah, if you can, that probably would end it too.
So if you
How
want,
tall is this console?
if you want to make so this console is, you can see over the top of it. I would say it's probably about chest high to an average height person.
Okay, cool.
If you wanted to make a cold shot, you're at -2 to hit.
Okay.
But
Pappy
we have a
is going to
gun.
move here. So he's got a nice line of sight on him. And called shot to go for his head.
Okay.
Can't psionic without a head, can you?
You're shooting this guy or this
Yeah.
follower?
I'm going for the boss at this point. If he's
Okay.
dead, everything else is done, right?
That's what we think.
That's true. Now, something to let me give you a description of this guy.
Like some shield around his head or some shit?
He is not. And that's why I was going to say maybe you don't need to do a called shot, because he is not wearing any armor. He's wearing a basic Spacer's like short sleeve shirt, and he's got utility coveralls on. That's it. He's not wearing any armor. So I don't know if you
Okay,
want to
well,
take
in
the
that case-
-2 for a called shot.
Well, that depends. If I hit his head, will it kill him? as opposed to just hurting him.
I think
with
that
the normal key,
if
whatever.
you were to hit
Traveler doesn't.
if you were to make your called shot at -2, I would say that is going to be an automatic critical on a non-armored on somebody not wearing any armor.
Hey guys, do you think I should go for the cold shot or just shoot fire?
How would you shoot him? Traveler doesn't really use hit locations. I mean, its stats are pretty basic, and without armor, I think you're going to probably take him
Right.
at least unconscious.
I mean, there are hit locations in the companion. Wow, that is a hit.
Yeah. Holler at you, buddy. Fuck him.
I was like, fine, I'll just go for a regular shot.
Okay.
And there you go.
Yeah,
That's my regular shot.
You'd have missed if you'd gone for the called shot.
Right.
You're right, I would have missed.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Here we go. 27 points of damage on this fool. That was just enough for a hit.
Yeah. So, Pappy brings up his laser and blasts Enton, and Enton lights on fire and drops to the ground. All of these guys, like in stereo, all start screaming and like clutching their heads.
Does that mean we're in combat still?
You are, but Pappy, you can move. You've still got 6 meters of movement, so you can move 4 of these X's if you'd like. Oh, you're just gonna
Right up on this guy.
get all up on him. Bocephus, what would you like to do?
Well,
You see Enton just get hit by this laser dead center, and just his clothing goes up in flames. His hair's on fire. He's fucked.
yeah. I'm wondering if these minion guys have some kind of psionic ability, and that's why they're still, we're able to be servants or not. That's time for something else, I guess.
Well, I mean,
Let's
you could of course.
I'm going to come right over to this guy,
Yep.
and I'm going to inject him with an extreme sedative
Okay.
to put him down.
Go ahead and
Just
make a. I guess it's just going to be a grapple check. So it's going to be melee unarmed plus your choice, either strength or dex.
I do have unarmed of 1, and my there. Okay, here we go. 4. He gets to pick all kinds of shit unless
he is at -2, so that's actually an 8, but that's still good enough. He kind of drops down and dodges your attempt to syringe him.
All right. Well,
what would you like to do?
So this guy's like screaming after that happened?
Yeah, all of these guys let out a scream as soon as, like in stereo, like they all felt it at the same time.
All right, well, I'll just shoot him with a stunner. Put him out of his misery.
Okay.
So let me aim and shoot.
You're shooting this guy, right?
Yeah. So does that include
that's going to drop him.
So that's 18 stun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that does drop him.
All you got to do is get rid of the endurance with the stun.
Correct.
It's like a secret. Yeah.
And these guys
So I like that
are
shit.
also not wearing any armor. So yeah, the sound of the taser tick, 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 goes off, and this guy drops to the ground. Did you want to move at all?
I think I aimed, so aiming and shooting's it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's I'll deal with you later gun.
Yes. The followers are all at -2 right now because of the psychic shock of their leader eating shit. But this guy, make sure I'm not missing anybody. He comes running over here. And he comes running over here.
Oh no, they're gonna resurrect him.
They are, yeah, they're super concerned about Joseph. This guy is going to, he's going to use his shotgun as a club and try to smack Bocephus. He hits, unless Bocephus is dodging.
Yeah, I want to parry that.
You could.
What I want to do.
You could do that.
And that will drop. My unarmed combat is 1, so that'll take 1 off of his score, I believe.
Leave that. Let me find it. Parrying. May attempt to parry an opponent's melee attack as a reaction. In so doing, they will inflict their melee skill as a negative DM to the attacker's attack roll. So what's your melee?
1.
Okay, so that does parry his attack, and so you block his swing. This follower is going to also try to swing his shotgun like a club on Pappy. Pappy, are you parrying? Are you dodging? What would you like to do?
Wallop him in the face afterwards.
Well, I mean, he got an 8, so he would hit unless you're going to use your melee unarmed skill to parry, or you can dodge, which would mean that you need to, which would be...
Oh, parry. It seems like the right thing to do. I was gonna be fancy. Don't be fancy, just parry.
So what's your melee unarmed? Or melee blade?
Let me find out. I'm assuming it's on here somewhere.
It should be, unless you don't have it.
Is it a skill? Or is it combat?
Yeah.
It's a skill.
It's a skill.
Oh,
So when you parry,
Oh, no.
you reduce the attack by however many ranks you have in that skill.
Correct.
Oh, never mind. No parry for me. I got no melee.
So then if you dodge, it's based on whatever your dex or acrobatics dex.
Yeah, dex
bonus would
or
be.
athletics dexterity. So, what's your either athletics dexterity or your dex modifier?
Athletics dex is 1.
Okay.
And then what's your dex bonus?
So you would dodge, and he swings.
The dex is 1.
Yeah, he swings and misses as you dodge out of the way.
So that's basically -2 off this roll.
Oh, cool.
However, that gives you a penalty next round.
You
It's
guys,
just -1.
you guys can
It'll be-
hear a door opening from somewhere down here. And 2 more guys come out.
But their brains aren't fried?
They were, but they're running to wherever this is. All right. But they used all 3 of their minor actions. Mel, what would you like to do?
So it doesn't look like our plan to take out Joseph Enton was going to take down all of his followers.
Nope, they're all shithouse rats. I think I would say that it is too late for them. They have been subjected to too much of his psionic leakage, and they're all bibbledy.
Okay, so the guy directly, to my...
It was still worth it to give him that -2.
That's true.
That guy
what
poisoned,
one?
or is he down for the count?
Which one?
The guy to my southwest at 7 o'clock with Enton, with the skull and crossbone marker.
So if he's got a skull and crossbone marker, that means he's unconscious. He's not a threat.
Okay. Okay.
So he's the one that got tasered.
Yes.
No, but I mean they're starting to swarm us here.
No, I mean, if
Well,
if you were to go right here, you would also have cover from these guys if they were to, and pretty much anybody if they were to shoot at you.
Yeah. Can I shoot over this?
Yes. But it would impose an additional -2 to them to hit you. Because
All
of
right. So
cover.
I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna light this guy up.
Gotcha. You going full auto?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, which gun are you using?
Gauss submachine gun.
Okay. Okay.
Let him eat.
Good jamming for beginners. Just point and spray the area.
Yes.
And if you've ever watched Fear of a Black Hat, it's one of the funniest movies ever made.
All right, so that is Gauss submachine gun is auto 4 AP3, so you get 4 attacks on this guy. And you don't have to necessarily use all of them between him. You can hit pretty much everybody within 5 meters of him. So you could hit that guy, and you could hit the guy in melee with Pappy. Just don't miss too bad. Or else Pappy might get and take a bullet or 4.
All right, so the first one there was rolled 10 to hit, 15 damage.
Yes. On here.
Oh, no way.
That by 3.
Damn. Terrible roll.
You can do it. There you go.
So where did this? You're still shooting the first guy with the second one?
Yeah, if he didn't fall on the first one, then yeah, he gets another round.
Okay, so you missed with 2 of them. On the 4th one, you did get him. Oof. 19.
That's 34 points.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what he does. Yeah. So him and the deck and this wall behind him are all dead. You just spray him clear through with Gauss rifle or with Gauss rounds.
All right, full auto it's 3 times the 4, right? That's how many
Correct.
rounds I just used.
Correct. Burst would just use 4 rounds, and then of course single shots. Well, that was quick. Pappy, we are back to you.
Wow, yeah, we are. You said I get some kind of negative this time because of the dodge?
Yes, you are at -1 because you used a
Okay.
reaction.
Would that gun thing that we were gonna try and anti-psionic, would that like take out the effects of this dude's suffering, or would he just be like, no?
So make a do you have any science?
I don't remember.
Do you have any science skills?
No.
No?
No science. Look, I fly things. I don't
Go
know what
ahead.
you're talking about.
Roll
Science.
2D plus your intellect check.
Oh, okay.
In fact,
All right,
I
do
will
I have
allow
any
you to.
science?
I will just allow you. To
I
make-
do have science. Holy shit.
Do you? So I mean, you could.
I'm a 0 in science unless it's jump space.
I would say. Ooh. Go ahead and make a science jump space plus your choice, either intellect or education.
They're both 0s. So
That's pretty good. Okay.
the only thing I have that's not 0. Oh wait, intellect is 1. My bad.
So 13.
Yeah.
So
Not bad. I thought my only plus was Dex.
What you guys have learned, assuming that this, of course, everything that you learned, I mean, it kind of checks out because this guy did make a psionic attack on somebody and fucked it up, but he made an attempt. But everything that you've been told essentially is that this guy subconsciously reached out and touched the jump field, which you're not versed in psionic sciences. You know that Bocephus is Scientology, but in your experience so far with all of this, I mean, it kind of, I mean, you've got visual evidence of this, probably going on. It's a sound theory. You're not detecting that. You are not under the belief that any of these guys have any psionic ability. They have just been touched by him, and that has led to their madness.
Okay, so no point in shooting that gun at them. I can't fire the rifle from point blank, right? I have to be like a step back.
Right. If you step back, though, he gets a free attack on you. So, I mean, what you could do is you could swing the rifle like a club.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. So that would be a melee unarmed plus your choice, either strength or dexterity.
You can use a
And if
pistol.
I'm untrained in melee, that means a -3, right?
If you are untrained in melee,
Yeah.
correct. That would be a -3.
Okay, so -3 plus 1, so -2. Okay.
He can't.
So 2D minus.
He he's at -2, so he can't parry or dodge. There's that.
Okay. Well, I'm at a 2D -2, so let's see how this goes.
Big money, no whammies.
Every time I hear you say parry dodge, I think Daffy Duck.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to roll it twice. Sorry.
Ugh.
A 9?
A 9.
The first one was a 9.
Yes, the 9 hits with a +1 to damage, so you deal. Yes. Oh, no, better. 2D plus 1 damage.
Sweet.
Fuck.
Damn it.
All
I
right.
wasted the 5. I mean, technically, I already rolled the second one. I just put the wrong modifier on it.
Right. So this guy comes towards you, and you just rifle butt him in the chin. Splits his lip, but he's got those eyes, and you know the eyes I'm talking about. Those eyes. Bocephus, what would you like to do?
You know, he's been missing some psionic guidance.
I'm gonna
I'm-
mind blast him.
Yeah. No, I was thinking I could do a suggestion. A psionic suggestion.
Okay.
Page 231, Traveler Core Rulebook.
What are you suggesting?
That he go provide aid to Joseph before he dies.
Okay. I mean, these other two guys have probably patted out the flames. His hair's no longer on fire anymore, but sure. Yeah, go ahead. And
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm dealing with a fucking real smart motherfucker.
That's true.
You know, so
Go ahead and make a-
he's used to taking, commands from
That's true.
Sorta.
yeah, from
Good.
the mind.
Go ahead and make a telepathy plus psi check.
Nope, didn't do it, man.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you reach out to implant this thought, and when you touch his mind, it's just a, it's just
You get a 404 error.
yes, yes, yeah,
It's just a bag of cats.
yes. It is all over the place. It's complete pandemonium in this guy's skull. Sarda,
Yeah.
what would you like to do?
I'll move two, so I can move. How many? It's 4 of these. Is that correct? Is that?
Yeah, the measurement tool should work since we've got the thing on, but it is.
Yeah, I think it's 4 hexes.
Yeah, you can
and
move
6.
6. So yeah, 4 times 1.5.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll move here and I'll fire the stunner at this guy.
Okay. Yeah, that should. Yeah, you are at its
I missed.
mid range. Yes.
I missed.
You should save Pappy.
What?
Yeah.
You should save Pappy.
So yeah, your
That's
stunner,
fine.
the blue bolt
Say it with confidence.
hits the metal of this piece of machinery. The followers, these two guys next to that are checking out Anton, appear to go catatonic. They just kind of lay down over his corpse and just shut off. Their eyes are open, but nobody's home.
Doom, doom, doom.
This guy is going to shoot a subby at Sarda.
Sorry, Sarda.
Wait, he's going after the no-kill shelter guy, but he's letting the guys who are killing people off the hook. I like the way this guy thinks.
Well,
Yeah.
technically, Sarda is kind of the closest threat. So he.
I just shot at him too.
That's true. Oh,
this is why I was hoping to
look
hit
at
him.
that terribleness. What happens to him? Something good.
Probably just a gun jam.
Well, we will find out.
Oh, there's a mishap table?
There is.
Nice.
So he he lights off it's set for full auto, and he pulls the trigger and it jerks out of his hand and lands on the floor at his feet. It is dropped, but in sight, can be recovered in the future using a significant action. So it's like over here, partially under this piece of machinery. He doesn't appear to be surprised by this for some reason, but that happened, and and it was good.
Yeah, it was.
This guy on Happy is going to swing his shoddy as a club again. And he misses. He just swings it, and it goes right over Pappy's head. And this guy is going to swing his shoddy on Josephus. So close, but he does hit, but it like bounces off of Josephus's helmet and doesn't really do anything. Mel, what would you like to do? Yeah, I can get these guys off the map.
All right, I'm gonna. I guess I'm lighting up the guy who just shot at Sarda, leaving Pappy by himself. Sorry.
What you gotta do, man? Happy's gonna handle himself in a fist fight, even though he doesn't have any melee.
Guy shot at me is now unarmed.
He fights dirty.
Be like, man, I've been getting my ass kicked for years. This ain't shit.
So there's a hit.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on.
I'm like that kid that gets bullied, so he doesn't really know how to fight, but he can take a hit.
Yeah.
Just fucked that dude up.
Yeah, I think you did. Oh, yeah, never mind. He didn't have that much. This guy, once again, gets lit up and goes down. Clear up space here. Got too many bodies. So Mel comes up over the console, and you hear the multiple report zip cracks of a Gauss submachine gun just tear this guy to shreds, Miami Vice style, of course. If it was a shotgun, he would have flown back like 30 feet because it's cinematic.
Oh,
Pappy, what would you like to do?
I will continue my ineffectual fighting.
Okay.
Or I guess I could. Yeah. I'm just gonna fight this guy because now I'm in my little. We're in our little struggle with each other's weapons, punching and kicking and punching and kicking.
So there is another
Tussling on the
option. I mean,
ground.
if you don't want to hit him, you could let go of your rifle and try to grapple him. There's a whole bunch of things you can do if you succeed in a grapple.
Oh, sure. Why not?
You
That sounds
don't.
fun.
You don't have the unarmed combat.
That's true.
The downside is that you'd be sacrificing your armor advantage over him.
That's true.
Yeah, you can.
We're gonna keep going with it, just like one of the, like you said, we're going Miami Vice style, where we're just fighting it out with our guns. Ooh, ooh, ee.
Okay.
American Gladiator style.
Okay.
American Gladiators over here. Come on now, you know how this goes.
Yeah, minus the foam. Ugh. Okay, so you swing and miss. Bocephus?
I'm just gonna draw my Gauss pistol and hit him with full auto too.
Okay. Okay. Yes. All right. I like this plan.
I used a reaction, so I gotta take a -1. So this will be the first try, which will be a 9 to hit. So
Plus
this
1 to
will
damage.
be 3D plus 1. That's
Holy
14.
Shit.
And then the second shot
Oh,
is a 12 to hit.
Plus
so
4
that's
to
plus
damage.
4. And it's 3D. All right, here we go. 17.
jeez. Okay.
Bam!
Yeah, this guy, Han Solo style, point blank range. You draw and pull the trigger, and just rip, and this guy goes down, like right in the belly. You just practically cut him in half with 4mm rounds. Sarda, there's one guy left on Pappy.
Yeah, I'll aim and shoot at him.
Okay.
That's an 11 to
There you
hit.
go, and 10 points.
10 stun.
Yep. He drops like a sack of potatoes.
Just want to stay in the damn cockpit. Just hand
Are we
me
out of combat?
savages.
You are now out of combat.
I get a +3 when I use this med kit.
Yes. Hold on. I think it's actually a 2. Let me double check.
TL14.
The 14, I believe, is a +3.
Nope, you're right. It is DM plus 3.
All right. I believe Sarda is taking damage.
Yeah, I've taken some, not much, but yeah, I've been injured.
So 15 on the medic check, first aid.
I'm fully healed.
Yeah, you get the effect of that.
Yeah, it's +7.
Yeah.
I was only down 4.
All right, I guess I'll do myself then. And 14, so that's +6 to my health,
Correct.
and I'm okay.
All right.
Is Pappy injured? I don't remember.
So while Bocephus is running around healing, or healing, he's running around performing first aid on people. Mel, you can see that the lights on this console are again going bop, 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 and then pause, and then bop, 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 and then pause.
Man, it's fixing to do some shit. Do your fucking engineering shit. Tune the shit.
Why don't I take a look at it?
So I can do electronics, computers.
So in this case, it's going to be engineering, J drive plus education.
Yeah, like I say, let me take a look at it.
I've got.
Well, I don't know. He's got that
drive.
I have J drive. I have skill in it of 4, and then I have a +1, so I'm at a +5. Admittedly, I rolled shitty. But yeah, I'm really, really good at J drive and sensors. Those are the 2 things I'm really good at.
So you bring up their console, and now that you have an interpretation and you can understand what you're seeing, it looks like the J drive is going to get ready to make a jump within the next 6 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna start the process of shutting that down.
Mel, you can go ahead and make a engineering plus. You go ahead and do what you were going to do before, and you get a +1 to that.
I was
Y'all are
thinking
task
to
chaining.
try to shut some stuff down via computer.
Yeah.
Stop the jump.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
And you get a +1 to that.
And
Okay. So between Mel and Sarda, you are able to shut down the J drive. And as soon as you do, down here, this central portion of the J drive, you can see steam starts coming out. It's apparently, it's basically cooling off and venting all that excess heat because it was building up power from the rest of the ship getting ready to jump it. Mel, the one thing that you do note when you go in and you turn this thing off, so essentially the J drive was going to activate, but there was no astrogation. There was no destination jump. It was just gonna jump, period. In Sarda, in your expert opinion, you would look at this and one of two things would happen. Either it would jump, it could jump and be in jump space for, theoretically it could be a week. Knowing how badly damaged this ship is, it could be longer than that. Because the last time it was in jump for 15 days. And one of two things would happen. Either it would reemerge in this exact same spot, which is the norm, or because it's so badly damaged, it could reemerge 1d6 times 10 parsecs away.
All right.
So who knows where it would end up? In a random direction. But you have averted the jump, and because of your actions, you have safely shut down the jump grid on the outside of this vessel. And it is now, so, this is what this ship looks like. It is now stable in real space.
And it's a hell of a lot bigger than the Deepnight, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
like twice again.
If we were trying to recreate that shit that was the grid on the outside of the hull of the drawing ship, right? Would harvesting grid from this be able to convert to that if we were trying to recreate it? Are they similar at all in any kind of way? Would these materials be worthy of having if
it's not really something that can be harvested? So the jump grid that is laid in, it would be kind of like trying to harvest the traces on the back of a PCB. Yeah, it can be done, but you're not going to really get anything out of it.
That's probably why I'm not an engineer.
If you look at the back of a circuit board, right, you've got traces all over it. Technically, yeah, those traces can be salvaged.
Yeah.
You're going to end up with...
They're just not worth the effort.
Yeah, you're going to end up with a couple cents worth of copper. And a bunch of solder.
All right, well, we got these cannibal faction motherfuckers that, some of them have been sedated and put down. And we need to figure out what the fuck we're going to do with them. And then we've got the survivor people. We need to call in for Deepnight leadership, right?
Yeah, how do you guys want to handle this? Essentially, you have about there's actual numbers here. I gotta look it up. So there are a total about 800 people that are awake. And, I mean, of course, some of them are now unconscious because you either sedated them or stunned them, what have you, right? Of the rest that are up, there is a good proportion of them that have gone feral. There's another proportion of them that are cannibals, but in your opinion, in your medical scan, Bocephus did a medical scan, you determined that the cannibals, interestingly, not only are, I mean, of course, they are a little bit malnourished. Everybody on the ship is a little bit malnourished. They are lacking some mineral elements in their dietary and makeup that makes them crave it in other living people, which is driving them, of course, with their the insanity that's going on, that is now gone, or the source of it is now gone, has driven them to become cannibals, as opposed to doing what the people that are holding out, the typical survivors. They've been scavenging stuff from around the ship that they can eat, or even trying to pick from crops that are in the biodomes. So you've got this mix of people.
What I'm going to do is I'd like to create 2 reports to hand in to the captain.
Okay.
One of them explaining that I think the mineral deficits in the cannibals can be replaced and they should act normally. And then I'll write another one that says they have a degenerate issue. They're going to get worse. Eventually, they'll turn into feral, mindless ghouls and try to eat us all. And then I'm going to give both reports to Mel and say, man, hand in the one you want.
Both are true. So the cannibals, in your medical opinion, if you were to take them and give them proper diet and, a heavy dose of counseling, they could go on to lead perfectly normal, productive lives, living with the shame of what they've done. The ferals, right? They're. I mean, you are a medical professional. You are a psychologist as well, but I think that you would know a certain point. I mean, you never hear a psychologist, unlike a medical doctor, you never hear a psychologist or a psychiatrist say this person's beyond help.
Right. Well,
and I think that's an unrealistic view, because even a doctor can look at somebody and put a red X on their forehead and go, "No, this motherfucker's gone." Right? I think that you are probably grounded enough that you would be able to say that the typical feral that's aboard this ship is probably too far gone, and I mean, from a logistical standpoint, it's going to take up all of your time, etc. They're beyond help.
And I'm saying also, in one report, I'm saying that the cannibals cannot be rehabilitated. They will turn into feral ghouls.
Oh, okay.
And they should all be eradicated. And then the other one, I'm saying that we should eradicate all the feral ghouls, but these cannibal motherfuckers with counseling time and whatnot can be salvaged. And then I'm letting Mel
decide which report to turn in.
Report to give in. So I'm letting him get his win.
We're not counseling. We're not counseling him.
Well, right? And that's the other problem, because so Deepnight Revelation, as a crew, total population, I think with the few that you have dropped off, it has about 490 crew members at this point. You've got basically enough room that for a full complement you could take on an additional 10 people. Okay. This ship, there are 800 that are awake. There are 25,000 people that are in low berths on this ship. that
Yeah.
are still. You're assuming they're still alive. I mean, it would take quite some time to go through. I mean, there's probably some attrition. So there's probably a couple of those pods that are full of a corpse.
But we can in theory get this ship just enough to hit 2 J1 trips, and they're at a garden world they can fucking settle on.
That's true.
But still, the ferals need to be eradicated for them, and then whatever Mel does with the reports. There's.
I mean, is there? You're the doc. What's beyond the fact that they have some sort of malnutrition creating a craving, which
That's right.
Lord knows I was craving some Sour Patch Kids, so I picked some up on the way home.
That's right.
I'm not sure that I would just gleefully take to fucking cannibalism if I thought if I needed.
When my wife takes me,
Well,
when I have to go grocery shopping with my wife, and we go through the meat section, I can look at raw steak and I will literally start to salivate.
Well,
That's how much I love fucking meat. And so I mean, I don't know. I can empathize with these people. Like
the scope of how many of them are that could be in low birth still that need to be awakened and all that. I mean, just even if it was something as simple as a vitamin C supplement, I mean, we don't have that. We don't. I mean, thinking that we can quickly replace all these minerals in several thousand people way out here in the middle of anywhere and even give it a shot without counseling.
I imagine a lot of vitamin D too. And I mean, if you were to like vitamin
have
C,
to get all the vitamin D they need.
Well, vitamin D and vitamin C and vitamin A. I mean, those would be.
That's the trifecta there.
Those would be the three, and vitamin B. Those would be the elements that you're wanting to kind of hoard on Deepnight Revelation, because if you run out of those, then your crew's screwed.
There was a very nice planet. There was a really nice planet to jump away. I thought we'd just set them up so that we'd jump the ship there, recruit people to fill our missing slots, because we were down with some crew. We had people that wanted to get. We had people that wanted to get off, remember?
That's true.
We kicked them off.
Right. And so let's kick these people off in the same spot.
And I mean,
now we're in a different moral dilemma. I mean, if we're not able to, if we think that a percentage of the people in low births are going to become cannibals.
Well, you don't know. I mean,
or if it's just the ones who were awakened early.
You dump the cannibals off in one spot on the planet, you dump the non-cannibals off on another spot of the planet, and you just let it work itself out. We're going to be leaving,
Well, I mean, if we
don't have
that
time
route,
to shape their culture.
Yeah, if we go that route, we just patch their shit together, point them in the right direction, hope for the best, and be like, we recruit 10 or 12 of them to refill our ranks,
So this is the stats for the ship.
I mean, I guess the first thing to do is we need to get crews over here and assess what it takes to make this thing so we could, perform astrogation and all that. I mean, we might have to refashion together some form of bridge, or maybe leak a bridge from one of these pods. I think one of them is at least still good to do the controls.
Yeah, the pods. So this is the stats for one of the cedar segments. And they do have, or maybe they don't. Oh, they do have a cockpit. So theoretically speaking, engineers could, do a makeshift on one of these cedar segments in the cockpit, and come up with a functioning bridge that you could astrogate from and whatnot. I find it interesting that this thing's 50,000 tons and they list it as a cockpit. Like, because that implies that one or two people are sitting in this little bubble on top of this gigantic ship behind them, which I guess maybe is a possibility, but
I feel you.
It kind of seems like the crash scene from Pitch Black.
And so I mean that's it. And in the time that we get them so they can, I mean, we're talking about 2 jumps. All they got to do is go there and populate, and we don't even have to go.
Well, and
with them.
The other nice thing is that by doing that, you're helping them essentially fulfill their mission.
Succeed. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get some karma points,
We might want to look at personnel records and see if there's anybody from the low berth that we should be waking up based on their qualifications. That maybe, there might be highly skilled people that would be able to help with this particular operation that are currently in low berth.
So
won't we just let the engineer and the crew of this awake make that call?
You could do that too, yeah.
I guess it's just how much do you want to offer aid? In theory, we could just give them some coordinates and go, y'all got spares, good luck now, y'all here. But I mean, we're
recruiting some of their staff, so so we want to look through their records, get an idea of who we feel is best to recruit, and I think the best way to do that is to work with them as effectively as possible, isolating the cannibals, determining who's not, figuring out if we need to pull anybody out of low berth because they're highly qualified, either for our mission or for the mission that they've got.
We'll send Pappy to go get the sorting hat from the Deepnight and bring it back.
So whoever wants to can make a electronics computers plus intellect or education check.
Oh.
I mean, multiple people will make it go faster.
I'm wanting to bring up on the Desnex. I want to bring up the crew roster of Deepnight and find out what fields we are short on.
So
what kind of skills are we running? Thinned out on.
So Bocephus, make an admin plus intellect or education check.
I do have some admin skills.
I just want to see if there's any hot ladies in there, low birds. I'm like, hey, look, y'all need somebody populating.
Yeah, 11.
Okay, so you guys that are kind of basically this takes about 4 weeks. Crews from Revelation come over and patch things up with the assistance of the engineering officer, Karai Addix. And you guys spend that 4 weeks kind of going through the records of the popsicles that are in the low berths of the ship. Yeah, 4 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, that's just great.
And
that means children hatch in 4 weeks.
That's
my
true.
pet clone.
That's
joined,
true.
Yeah.
You may come back and have some droin. But
nice.
But so the engineering, the technicians and whatnot go through. And it takes them about 4 weeks to essentially set up one of these cockpits on one of the cedar segments in order to work as a functioning bridge, and they can feed in automatically. They can feed in the astrogation data from your basically backtracking your jumps for 2 jumps, which this vessel is capable of doing. small craft are able to go and siphon or pull hydrogen from the gas giants and are able to refuel the ship. And so you're able to get this thing limping. It can limp 2 jumps back and fulfill its mission back at DTP with the mammoths and saber-toothed cats and the monkey people, hominids.
Yeah.
Bocephus, so you, Pappy, and Sarda and Mel, you spend your time going through these records. I mean, for the most part, what you're finding is that there is a smattering of talents throughout all of these people. These 25,000, they are your typical colonist. They have skills like electronics. They usually have something in electronics at least at rank 1. They'll have some kind of engineering at rank 1, mechanic at rank 1, vac suit 1. If they don't have any of those, they'll have some kind of profession, such as hydroponics or something along those lines. They're good to start a colony. They may also have gun combat, although not. They'll have it at 0. They're competent, but they're not. These are not security types.
Hydroponics is useful.
So you have a couple of options there. Bocephus, you're going through Deepnight's admins. One of the people that was left, I think with the mutineers, quite a ways back. So you're lacking somebody in the engineering department, and here you have engineering officer Karai Addix, who is actually pretty competent. She's got J Drive 3, computers 2. I mean, she's a good engineer, and her problem right now is that she's the ranking actual ship's officer, and so she has been taking on the leadership role. And if you know, her leadership is 0. She's not really confident as a leader.
We can switch her out with Sarda, right? Right now for this, just till we leave.
I mean,
I thought you were saying like leave Sarda with them. I'm like, damn, man, that's cold blooded.
Oh no! I was meaning. I mean, doing that kind of stuff would be kind of more of his strong state, judging, on our past experiences, and she's not suited. And right now, leadership and organization is kind of what this bar colony needs, right? So I mean, if we're going to spend 4 weeks here, I mean, I take the United States approach. Well, one of our guys should be in charge.
Right.
Well, yeah. To me, it means that I need to take her under my wing and train her in leadership and admin and stuff like that.
Oh, we're going to poach her, right?
If she's one of the people we're going to poach, you put her on our ship, an engineer, have her get her engineer hard on, and then say, "Yeah, I want to be here."
And then I train her in leadership.
Sure. So that way, when the end time comes, she'll be able to lead.
So during this 4 weeks, the other thing that you kind of picked part of this up. Evidently, you've gone through the records, and you can definitively say that essentially this ship left its port 250 years ago.
Hell yeah.
And the reason why they think that only about 10 days has gone by is because of the weird time dilation due to the jump resonance. And so, but on the outside, in the real space, they've been, bouncing in and out of jump space for 250 years. But 250 years ago, they left a system it would be beyond the far shore of of the Great Rift, the direction that you're heading. And they came from a polity known as the Commonwealth, and the world that they came from was called Maine, spelled as Maine. Like, I'm driving from Boston to Maine. That it spelled exactly the same way.
Oh, I thought you were saying like Maine, like a guy.
No, no.
Come on, Maine.
Maine.
So they have a real thick New England accent.
Yes, yes. They have this weird thing about lighthouses
And scallops.
and scallops.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there evidently somewhere, I mean, at least 250 years ago, there was a human settlement, or actually, settlement's not the right word. A human
Planet.
more than a planet, like systems under the governance of the Commonwealth, and they came from one of those planets in that system called Maine. So there's that to look forward to. The other thing, the science team on Deepnight during this 4 weeks has had a chance to look ahead, and they can see. Let's see, there is a series of deep space refueling points. But beyond that, they are seeing what they're calling far shore. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. We are almost across the Great Rift.
Ooh. Yeah, we're way far away from home now, Dorothy.
Yes. This would be journey-wise. You are just about to cross the threshold of the halfway point.
Do they have maps of where they're from? I mean, they might not have how they got from there to here, but
they
might. We would sure like to harvest all that data.
Happy would like to, in the meantime, start a little rumor that he is the savior who took out the problem, which is not entirely untrue. And, should anybody who ends up out of low birth seek him out as, their savior, he wouldn't mind giving a little love. In true Captain Kirk fashion,
Of course.
Right. We'll have to take the time of waking all these motherfuckers up. Have like a wake up team,
Exactly.
Run some tests. If they act a little funny,
Hold on here. I am
awful. You ever wonder why, if you're like, when two dudes are arguing and stuff, like they're being aggressive towards each other, right? One dude will tell the other dude to suck his dick. And I'm like, man, that dude's pissed off. I'm not putting my junk in his mouth. What the fuck are you talking about? Why the fuck would someone go, I hate you right now, but I'm going to put my pecker in your mouth? And that just don't sound like a smart idea.
I have heard that, and I do wonder that.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a horrible idea.
Yeah, it's just not good thinking, man. That's like treating
my
the
most
light
valuable
socket.
asset, right in one of the most dangerous places. Like, nope.
You're gonna put it in a fucked up spot. You might as well try to act like the fucking light socket's a glory hole. I mean,
shit.
Could be interesting. So yes, they do have some maps, and this is, I'm pulling it up now.
and TV shows and shit, Sarda would want.
Of course.
Yeah,
Music,
any entertainment.
Yeah, if they're colony ship.
I'll provide them with plenty of entertainment in exchange. That's the thing with this trading, is that it only ends up being in their benefit, because I just hand over my entire library for whatever they've got and add that to the library for the next group.
Wow, that's a good point.
The other
Massive
thing,
data dump.
so
Oh, the Fallout video.
so this is the map that they pull up. Each one of these squares is a sector of space.
Oh, wait, what are the dots?
Those are, I believe, habitable worlds or primary worlds.
And FSNX. What is that? Where we are?
No, you are
Oh,
space north of this.
yeah.
FSN-X is. I need to pull up my master map. Map of the
It's a
voyage.
sports network
Here's map of
Hell yeah.
where you watch the Dodger games.
And
FSN-X is would be the sector of space that you're on your next goal point.
okay.
Your end goal point is from FSN-X. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Tier no.
5
so we have
sectors
Irish.
away is where terminus point is.
That's the Fae. That's the land of the Fae.
Nah.
And
Oh,
Niflheim
yeah.
is also.
Yeah.
So the
Mm.
other thing that comes up in these 25,000 popsicles that are frozen in here, there are some droin that are frozen as part of these.
Ooh. How do their wings look?
Well, I mean, they're all still frozen. Along with the humans, I will allow Bocephus to make a medic, either a medic.
Xenobiology.
That's a good question.
I do know biology.
Do you have science biology?
Yes.
Go ahead and make a science biology plus education check.
11.
You find two things. The first thing, so with the realization that there are droin that are in these freezer pods, you kind of look over, and of course these even at tech level 9, these freezer pods are monitoring a ton of different things. You're able to basically pull up genetic blueprints directly on the individual inside the pod. And in all of these cases, you are finding that these droin are droin, but they are genetically divergent from droin that you would find in charted space. They are slightly genetically divergent from the clones that you made. So what this tells you is that these droin that are out here have not been in contact with droin from charted space or any other species of droin for probably close to at least a couple thousand years. They have diverged into their own genetic distinction.
I need to get some DNA samples.
The other thing that you find out is that the same is true for the human colonists. And what you're finding is that none of the genetic makeups of any of the human colonists that are in the low berths match either Volani or Zhodani. They are not Volani or Zhodani. But they do have genetic markers of the Soleimani. But they have, again, they genetically diverged from the Soleimani. At least, you're estimating, at least 2,000 years or possibly more ago. They haven't had any contact.
Yeah. I want to try to get a DNA sample of everybody I can.
So, the reason why this is important, especially about, I mean, not, yes, the droin are important, but so are the humans. Because if you remember, way back when this expedition started, one of the things that was brought up was that wasn't there a Soleimani expedition? And the answer to that was yes. There was a Soleimani expedition that went all the way out in that direction, spinward, and was never heard from again.
Until now.
Either they disappeared, or the Soleimani Confederation has kept whatever it is that they were doing tightly under wraps. The Soleimani are known to do that, and that's a whole story for another time. But the Soleimani are doing a bunch of things over there, or down there, I guess. They're more rimward. So, yeah. Who knows? But these guys haven't had any contact with actual Soleimani in at least 2,000 years, probably more.
Yeah.
Are there any markers to indicate that it's been genetically designed? I mean, is this possibly the work of ancients that move these folks?
That's a good question. That would require. I would allow another biology plus education check, but you get a +1 to that. Whoever wants to make it. I mean, I know Bocephus is the expert at this.
That's 14.
So, the weird thing about... So, knowing that they have Soleimani markers, it would actually be strange to you to see that there are some genetic markers that have been manipulated. They show distinct signs of manipulation, that they've been altered in some way. In some cases, there are some of the individuals in these lowbirds that have been genetically modified for lower gravity worlds. In others, there are some of these individuals who are quite large and muscular, designed for higher gravity worlds. Not all of the colonists are modified this way, but there is a percentage of them that are.
How many more weeks are we going to need for a sample?
25,000. I mean, you could probably.
Bocephus is gonna.
Yeah, Bocephus
start taking some samples.
Right, Bocephus is gonna need another fucking year to go get blood samples.
We could have, teams of people. I mean, in theory, all you really need is the medic skill at 0 to take a DNA.
I need 400 phlebotomists over here stat.
But if we were to go around and do that, I mean, we got to wake everybody up anyway, and make sure. I mean, I don't know that necessarily we have to do one person at a time, but we need a squad that can neutralize any wacko people.
Well, that was part of the 4 weeks too. Sir Alex Venati, your favorite noblewoman, the knight, the niece of the Duke of Tobiah, has led teams to go through and has dealt with the ferals. And if asked about what did she do with the ferals, she just reiterates they're dealt with. That's all she says. It just leaves it flat at that.
Good answer.
Yeah, that's fine by me. I mean, if we're taking on Ted and we're taking the engineer person if we can, right? We need a couple. God, I want to try to get people that are charismatically appealing, so that way both male and female. If we're gonna have new people
only
coming,
take the good-looking ones.
That's correct.
If he's going to begin his eugenics program, he wants to start without a high base level.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I'm just curious
what your dolphin character thinks is good.
Well, I mean,
they all have the Innsmouth look.
I can let you human people, rate them by looks. But
I've seen what happens to some of the people that go on I've seen the videos of those women that go swimming with the dolphins and what happens to them, and evidently dolphins are not the ones to be looking to on what is good looking or not.
or on
Well,
consent.
or
I
consent.
mean, yeah, well, I mean, if one of them has real oily skin and real narrow facial features, I mean, that would be preferable, I would think. If she had at least 3 or 4 nipples,
At least.
oh, that's just great, good stuff, man. And maybe,
This clone is of no
maybe,
use to me. It's only got one ass.
oh yeah, that's just. But no, I mean, I do think that using basic fucking algorithms on what we general humans think is good looking would be great. I think maybe we should take a couple of the drawing if we could.
He's walking around like Dexter with his bunch of slides with red dots on them and like a case of blood vials. Like, okay, I got what I wanted.
Well, I mean, if a bunch of people are fucking right on the ship, I mean, because that's got to be a popular.
Nobody was though. They're all frozen.
Well, no, frozen. I'm talking about on Deepnight.
Yeah, well, they're not supposed to be. Remember?
No, they're not supposed to be breeding, but they're fucking.
Well, yeah.
Oh my god, they're fucking. They're fucking in the closets. They're fucking everywhere on this motherfucking ship.
That's probably true.
I mean, if you were to take like one of those little cum lights and walk around, I mean, it'd be looking like a fucking black light at a disco scene. So, yeah, just blue. That's got to be terrible. Yeah, I mean, my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's got to be a popular pastime. So, I mean, if we're going to add people to the crew, you add people that people want to fuck. So, at least that drama in God, man, I really think Kim's hot. But, oh, man, dude fucking Kim, man. And I really want to, but I can't. That type of stuff, that gives people spice to life. And then, one day they catch Kim and she's just fucking broke up with Todd. And then all of a sudden, she's like, hey, you want to look at my hoo-ha? And then you're like, oh, hell yeah. And then, that made it even better.
Oh, my God. You think about this way too much. So my question to Mel is, which of those reports did you turn in? I mean, essentially it comes down to one report put the cannibals to the gun, or the other report of they can be counseled and helped.
Well, the crew of this ship said they've already taken care of them.
No,
right?
So Sir Alex Venati.
Then who was taken care of?
The Ferals. She came through and took her security teams came through and dealt with the Ferals. Now, as flat as she's stating it, that means she probably shot him and spaced him. But that's not... The Ferals and the cannibals aren't the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll turn in they may be rehabilitated report, but when handing it in, I'll say they should not be put down in the same part of the planet as the main body of the crew.
Okay.
They could be put back in low berth.
They could be.
Yeah.
Is there a psychiatrist / psychologist within the team of people that they have?
Yeah, probably.
Well, we need one of them.
Let's see.
Is she or he hot?
Maybe? No.
Is this a harpy or a succubus?
Wow. Yeah, there probably is. I could put that under profession. Yeah, there probably is. I mean, Bocephus looking over the admin stats, and looking over all of them, you're not impressed by their medical credentials, but yeah, there is. At least it says so on paper.
Well, then, yeah, we need to add that to our or if we're gonna try to poach, that's what I think. I mean, mental health chick, dude, something like that. Maybe a swinging.
I was
couple.
thinking that person could do the rehabbing for their own people, but okay.
Oh, okay. See, I'm thinking about who we take with us, and you're thinking about them because I am a dirty son of a bitch, and you have empathy. That is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, more so like we're gonna put them back in low berth, and they're gonna sit on their ship once they get there. That's not gonna work. Eventually, they're gonna get released. So if they're gonna get released either way, maybe they got somebody that can help them out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, yeah. Okay. We can.
So
Is the psychiatrist a cannibal?
no. Well, one of them is.
Look.
But I mean, there out of 25,000 people, there's probably a good 100 of them that are at least, I don't know, college trained. They can operate in that in that fashion.
So we can keep one or two of the really good ones and let them have the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to make, and this won't be a leadership role, who wants to make a diplomat plus social check?
Diplomacy. Huh.
I got a diplomat of 1.
I have none.
And my social gives me a 8.
Start is muted.
I've got a.
I'm rolling up. I've only got a +2 on this. 1 for diplomat, 1 for social.
I'm the same.
Then yeah, take your +2.
Yeah. Okay. So
Well,
Mel,
then it's a 15 with 2.
Mel, you during this 4 weeks, you strike up a conversation with Karai Addix, the engineer, and she is obviously she's obviously traumatized by the events that has happened to her over the period of time that all of these jump errors were taking place. She's not 100% of she's not 100% on board anymore of wanting to see this particular mission come through. I mean, not that she wants to see it fail. She just doesn't care anymore to be a part of it. And so during the conversation, she starts to inquire about, what is Deepnight Revelation doing? What is its mission goals? And it has come out that Revelation is kind of heading back in the direction that towards her home systems, and that sounds very appealing to her. If you would want to, you could poach her. She would join the crew, at least as far as making it to the Commonwealth.
By then, she'll definitely be smitten with us.
Keep in mind, though, that so while they have, they gave you the jump record of the system that they came from, it's impossible to follow their route because things went off the rails and they misjumped. So it's impossible to follow their route back. But I mean, she at least she was familiar with the Commonwealth 250 years ago.
What does she think about the fungus videos?
That's a good question.
So also going to say we're not an Uber. We're not
right. No, I mean she's not necessarily just looking for. I mean she, of course. So she is. It is a little bit depressing to her. I mean, of when she agreed to be an engineering officer on this mission, it was known that she would never see her home again. But it is a different matter to realize that the home that she knew is 250 years in the past. So, on the one hand, it's a little depressing to her. On the other, she would be interested in joining your crew and following your mission. As far as what she thinks about the videos, she is shocked, and well, she is. She is very. She basically says that if what you're saying is true, then that would literally place any world that is contacted by this entity, it would be in jeopardy, and so she that actually strengthens her resolve. She wants to join the crew because she doesn't want to see the Commonwealth fall to this fungus among us.
What's the what's the relationship between the droid and the humans in your society?
So she tells you that they are that the two societies are completely integrated. She says it's not that way everywhere, but in on many worlds, the droid and the humans are work towards the similar goal. They live in the same cities. They work towards the same goals. There's no real separation between citizens.
I think we ought to try to recruit a couple of their droid. I mean, hell, if we could get 4, that'd be great. Just because was having them in our group, shows that it might help us in diplomacy later on if we've got some to represent.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, does she understand that this very well might be a suicide mission?
she kind of laughs and she says, "So not unlike the mission that I'm currently on."
Well,
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, good.
No,
Welcome
you're
aboard.
going to we're sending you back to a paradise planet.
Yeah.
Animals.
With some cannibals.
And a lot of crazy prehistoric predators running around.
And
but,
no one nearly as attractive as Pappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm cool with her coming aboard, and again, I'd like to get a couple droid, and I'd like to, anywhere that we're needing people of certain skill sets. I definitely like to try to fill in on our weak spots as best we can.
So
While we have this opportunity, I don't know if we'll, hell, all we know, there are people already eradicated by the fungus.
that is a possibility too. But
so the big thing, the thing I look at though is that they're going to need to make 2 jumps and then essentially crash land. And so I want to make sure that they've got
the cedar
crew to handle that.
segments themselves they detach and can actually make their own controlled landing.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that they have the crew though to handle what they're going to be faced with.
Right, and they of course can pick and choose colonists to wake up to assist in that endeavor. You're right, though. The main segment, the central portion of the ship, is probably going to have to be scuttled or left in orbit, and either way, but because it's missing a bridge, and if all 3 cedar segments come off, there's no controlling anything, and so that central portion will be lost. But that's not a huge loss. The bulk of the colonization effort is in those cedar segments, hence their name.
They just leave it in orbit and do what they got to do.
Right.
I was thinking the advantage they'd have of bringing it to the surface of the planet, even if it is a crash, is that gives them a lot of stuff to scavenge.
Right.
Versus having it in orbit. Now it's a resource that they're not going to have available to them for quite a while.
Right, because they won't have
like
any
that idea
small
better.
craft.
Right.
Well, I mean,
Good point.
yeah, I mean, they can try to pilot it or set it on a program to, crash land on an easily accessible ocean that might not fuck it up and do it at a trajectory that might not burn up. I mean, if they use their wits about them, they could probably crash it, right, set it on a trajectory to crash like they want before they break apart.
That's
Do
true.
good math. Yeah.
So, yeah, Bocephus, make a diplomatic plus social check.
Eight.
Woohoo. You were able to find one droid out of, the several that you wake up. You kind of get a group of them that you wake up out of Lowbirds. One of them is interested in joining your crew.
Well, come along.
And he speaks the same language as the humans. I mean,
Cool.
he talks as fluently as they do. No accent, nothing. And basically, his statement is that he signed up to be a colonist, thinking that this was going to be a great adventure, and by joining your crew, it's just an extension of that. Is the way that he's thinking.
The bigger adventure.
Cool.
A bigger adventure.
Yeah.
And to tell you, let me take a look. Yep. I had a 50-50 chance.
Has Pappy bedded a drawing yet?
I don't know. Let's see here. He is. Because it'll tell me what caste he is. He is.
That means we got a full crew again, in theory, right?
You're pretty close to it, yeah. He is of the technicians class, also called in droid language the ASAF.
Is he bilingual?
He does, but the droid language that he speaks, your translator unit doesn't recognize. It recognizes that it is a root of the typical droid language, but not exact.
I wonder if he'd be willing to teach it to Chirpy.
Chirpy. Your
My clone.
Yeah, so the typical droid language is called Oinprith, and it's clear that this is based off of Oinprith as a root language, but beyond that, it has evolved into its own thing. I mean, if you bring that up, he says, something along the lines of that he's never taught anybody a language, but he would be certainly willing to try.
That's wonderful.
So, I'm
interested to see how Chirpy works out. Yes.
So you guys send them on their way. You have essentially rounded out what's left of the open spots on your crew. You bring Kurai Addix, the engineer, with you, and this droid who I don't have a name for yet, and we'll work on coming up with one.
And Pappy makes a visit to Bo Cephas for any STIs.
Oh yeah, I can definitely hook you up. Let's see what's going on.
These are STIs we haven't seen in Charted Space.
I got a 14 STD.
Yeah, no, you're
check.
You don't have a case of shore leave.
Yeah.
So the following series of jumps are deep space refueling points again, cometary debris, things like that. This pretty much goes fairly normal. At least the first one at DSR 13. Then you make a 2 parsec jump to DSR 14. So you're now at a minimum of probably about 4 weeks with the found ship behind you. And again, the DSR 14's a little bit more interesting in that you find that there is a very large super Jovian gas giant, and which isn't, that's a good thing because you can refuel there, and it is orbiting a brown dwarf, and it's orbiting close enough that it is that the brown dwarf is kind of siphoning gases off of this gas giant. You've seen this before too. This isn't anything new for you.
That might make it easier to refuel.
That's true.
You could just sort of sit in the wake and just suck it up rather than having to dive into the planet's dangerous gravity well.
That's true. But yes.
So you say
Always
4 weeks?
So it's been 4 weeks, and your droid clone has matured, and I would assume that you are bringing it out of the cloning vat. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So it knows how to speak your language. It has some basic skills that it was essentially learned in its sleep pod as it was growing and maturing. It was just being fed information, and it basically emerges as a technically functional adult droid. Now, I say technically functional. It is very awkward because it has pretty much no social skills. Like it learning to interact with others is going to be part of its, I guess.
Right. So I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it around. Wherever I'm at. I'm going to kind of keep it around me. I'm not necessarily teaching it medicine and stuff, but we're me and the people in the med and in the mental health part of my duties as I go about, day-to-day living. Chirpy will always kind of be around there, and we'll probably have a tablet or a personal computer where I don't know if Chirpy's a male or a female, but
Chirpy is a male. And
all right.
And he has during this 4 weeks in jump and refueling, he's been slowly picking up some of the droid's language from the Commonwealth, and so he can say a couple of phrases. He's not quite at 4 weeks. He's not quite to the point where he can have a conversation in droid yet, but he's following you around and trying to learn to interact with the rest of the crew and not have the personality of wet cardboard. When you come
can it fly?
Roll a d6.
Let's summon the cat.
Yes. He has wings, but they are stumpy. He cannot fly.
So I didn't get him right. Well, he's a good start.
But I mean, theoretically, you could augment the wings. There are droid augmentations for such.
Right. Well, we got armor for him and a stun stick.
Right? Yes. So, like I said, the first refueling point is, fairly boring. But this one, essentially it starts to be boring. You're doing the refueling run. Everybody make a recon plus intellect check.
Seven.
Ooh,
Hell
Pappy pulled the ace card. So
he's been looking.
refueling is, you're all on the bridge. God damn it, you guys, stop it. Refueling is going, typical. Mel and Sarda, you kind of get this uneasy feeling. Like, Mel and Sarda, you just get the hair on the back of your neck is standing up, like you're like, something's not right. Something's going to go wrong, kind of thing. The last 4 weeks have been too good. Pappy, you're kind of standing there, kind of overlooking flight operations, and the flight operations guy who's piloting, basically he's the primary pilot for Revelation, is dipping way too dangerously low and going too deep into the atmosphere of this gas giant.
I would like to correct him.
Okay.
Like, what are you doing, you stupid ass?
Go ahead and make,
kill.
Go ahead and make a. Do you have piloting capital?
I do not believe so. No, I have small craft and spacecraft.
Go ahead and make a piloting 0 plus dex check.
Shit.
7. So you reach over and you say, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And he does pull back, and it levels the ship out and maintains the correct depth for refueling. But he's like, what are you talking about? It's like he was just zoned out. He's not like concerned about it. Like he wasn't even here, man. His hands are on the stick, but he's not even paying attention.
This is one of our crew, or this is one of our crew, or is this one of the? I'm sorry, one of the ones from the other ship.
No, this is one of your regular flight officers. I mean, this guy's been pretty rock solid the entire trip, and he just was zoned out.
I'm gonna try to read surface thoughts on him.
Okay, go ahead and make a check.
Hell yeah, Sardis.
That's a 10.
I think that got it.
Mm-hmm. The effect does the detail, I think.
You read his surface thoughts, and it's like there was a blank spot between entering the cloud, or entering the atmosphere of the gas giant, and until Pappy roused him from his zone. Like, he wasn't thinking about anything.
All right. I'll bring that up to Josephus and Pappy. Maybe something about the gas giant. I don't know. It seems to might be having an effect on people's
Okay.
You're on
So,
drugs.
I'll need to run a series of tests.
We will break here, and we will pick it up next week and discover what's going on with this guy.
He's on drugs.
All right.
Oh, and
I don't care if you just wanted to pet me.
and you can add 4 weeks to study time if you wanted to, since you were in jump for that long. I mean, technically you were in jump for 2 weeks, but not a whole lot of reason for you to not take the other 2 weeks as study time as well.
I'm going to study
But
diplomat.
when I failed my check last time, I got to start back over at 8 weeks, right?
Correct.
So we got 4 weeks
It
of it.
sucks.
You said I can take
Yeah.
out 4 more weeks.
You get if you're it's 8 weeks, so you can start it over at 4 weeks.
Sweet. Okay, I think it was at 7 because I think there was like a 1 week overlap between it. So I have 3 more weeks to go.
All right.
2 more weeks until I can hopefully blow shit up good.
You'd be a
Nice.
better blower upper. All right, we will
Oh,
pick this
yeah.
up next week at 6 o'clock on Friday night.
Take care, all.
All right.
Sir?
All right, have a good night,
Everybody have
guys.
a great night.
Fun.
See you tomorrow.
Yep.